Hey everybody, Ray Fluck, television beat writer for Bleeding Cool. Welcome back to our weekly recap of AP Bio on NBC, starring It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's Glenn Howerton and sci-fi happy Patton Oswalt. We're going to be taking a look at the fifth episode of this season, Dating Toledoans. Which I'm totally know I'm screwing up the pronunciation on. Really good episode tonight. A lot of little things I didn't expect. One or two little questionable logic issues I want to talk about, but let's really go over into the episode. There's three main storylines to take away. I'm not going to be doing so much a recap, just to kind of give you an overview. The funny one, kind of the lighthearted one, was the storyline with Durbin, who does, as you know, does the morning video announcements to the school, but he has to give up doing them one time to cover Jack's class because Jack just came back from a long bus ride from Ohio to New York, but we'll get to that in a second. So Helen has to take over, and we realize very early on that Helen is a natural talent at it. She's just funny, she's just nice, she's just very, very much into it. And of course, as we know, Durbin being the head of the Glee Club, he is a performer, which means he is ego, and he does not take well to Helen, I guess, getting all the limelight. So we see probably one of the most douche-chilling performances I've ever seen of somebody just trying to kind of I guess tried to be funny. It was painful. I give a lot of credit to the actress who plays Paula Pell, though. She does a fantastic job. She's just been doing better and better each and every week. She reminds me of somebody, if you do a live action Archer, she would be Pam's mom. That's probably I don't know why that goes into my head every time I see her, and I mean that as a total compliment. Her and Patton Oswalt just really play off each other incredibly, incredibly well. Really liked it. Again, not super serious. You kind of knew where it was going, but again, it was a nice little side storyline. The other side storyline that we had, and I'm going to go into the breakdown too, is we got to learn a lot more about the students, especially Heather, who I am loving. Heather is officially now my favorite character on the show. It is Jack, it is Heather, and it is everybody else. Because Heather is just... she's going to become Jack's like consigliere. She's just going to be the fixer and the cleaner because she just loves what Jack has to say and is really right on with what Jack is talking about. But we start to see a lot of the machinations going on. We saw a little bit of it last week with Marcus, but we start to see what's going on with Marcus, with Grace, with Victor, with Sharika, with Devin. Yeah, that whole thing. In one episode, you already get to learn a lot about a number of the kids in class, and that was my biggest concern, was how we were going to go about doing that. But I think they did a really good job about it. I'm going to touch base on that more in detail when I itemize some cool things. But the main storyline has to do with Jack. Jack, who starts off taking bus trips to New York City because he feels New York City is the only place he can meet a woman who actually would be worthy of him to date. But he decides to take Mary, Michelle, and Stef up on their offer to go out to a bar in Toledo and to see what he can do picking up women. And he realizes very early on he's not good at it. Because he doesn't know how to be himself in this environment. It's a different type of environment. He's essentially self-sabotaging is the best way to put it, because of just who he is, and they keep trying to emphasize to him to be normal. Now, let me tell you what I like about this storyline, and I'll get to the wrap-up of it real quick. What I love about this is because we're getting a show right now where we've got a guy who's straight and has 3 female friends that so far he's not trying to sleep with or hook up with or anything like that. That right off the bat makes this show different. I know people are like, I'll ask you, how many shows out there, sitcoms especially, do you have male, female, heterosexual, platonic friendships where they just play off of each other? It's very, very few. So I'm finding that to be very refreshing. Not that I wouldn't like to see Jack and Stef hook up, because I'm kind of in favor of that, but I do like the fact that you have Jack and them, and it feeds well, because as the storyline goes along, Jack actually meets somebody who's essentially like him at the bar. This person's from Baltimore. So they're just kind of going snarky back and forth until this woman decides to start talking trash about Mary, Michelle, and Stef. And Jack right there just goes into one of his little perfect little mini Jack modes. But we like mini Jack mode in this instance because mini Jack is sticking up for his friends. And that's incredibly cool. And Jack just realizes, you know what? Maybe I need to dial all this stuff back. Maybe I don't need to be concerning myself with dating. Maybe I don't need to be obsessing about, who I'm hooking up with or anything like that. Enjoy friends, kind of chill, just kind of take things slow. Plus, in all honesty, if you need a distraction, you still have Miles' life to destroy. So Jack's always got that going for him. So, all in all, those were the 3 main storylines. I thought they were incredibly strong. I thought the Jack storyline, again, it's interesting. I still have those moments where I'm expecting Dennis and I don't. And I really, really, really like that. Really like how that's going, because again, people still making that connection, but it's not there. And I think Glenn Howerton deserves a lot of credit. He's really developing Jack as a character, and it's not always easy to do in this type of sitcom. And I think we're starting to see that, which I'm really, really big fan of. We've got some serious takeaways from the episode, so I want to bring them up. They are random, but if you've seen the episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can use class as a way to kind of prep up for a date, and essentially, I guess apparently you can also leave class in the middle of a date also. I do like the idea that Jack just basically kind of changing, wish them good luck, and it was the killing of the lights and then leaving and closing the door behind him, which I thought was a particularly nice touch. Now, the students. Now, this is why I keep a notepad, because I needed essentially a score sheet for this. So, this is what's going on with our student class as we're finding out more and more about them. Originally, we're told that Grace and Marcus are a couple. But now we find out later on it's not Grace and Marcus, but Marcus is covering for Devin, because Devin is actually Grace's secret boyfriend. Now, here's the problem. Sharika and Marcus are actually dating. That got Sharika jealous, so Sharika in the process decided to jealous, spiteful side date Devin. So you see the context of all this going on. And meanwhile, you've got Anthony telling us all the time. And meanwhile, you have poor Victor in all this. Two things we find out about Victor. Victor has a crush on Grace that doesn't look like currently it's ever going to be reciprocated. And also that Victor's the only one who's willing to be honest up front and lift his hand up and tell everybody he masturbates, to his own chagrin, unfortunately. But hey, Victor, heart bleeds for you, dude. Snoop Dogg, Durbin. Someone needs to tell Durbin, just putting Snoop Dogg in front of your face and trying to sound like Snoop Dogg, that's blackface. It's not you putting paint on your face, but it's still blackface. So yeah, everybody in all the classes were like, wait a minute, is he doing blackface? You are absolutely right. Baltimore is a third-rate city and has dead women buried in its parks. I'm not here to trash Baltimore, but I'm here to give Glenn Howerton and Jack and whoever wrote that line a lot of credit, because that was just a damn good random line. One of those great snarky lines you just need to put out there. And again, considering he was doing that in defense of his friends, it was kind of cool. We really like that. I learned the phrase situationship, which I think is fantastic, and I really need to start incorporating that in. Now, we never got a strict definition, but I'm just going to assume that a situationship is basically some type of a relationship you have in which it is not defined, it is weird, and does not meet any of the parameters of which a quote-unquote relationship meets. I was a really big fan of that. Really, really big fan. Helen's... we find out a little bit of things about Helen's life, and it was as much as I feel bad for laughing at it, I laughed when she referred to her, and Helen said, my nephew is 5 forever. And again, I felt bad, but it's the way Helen sells it. I can't help it. I know I feel bad laughing at her mentally 5-year-old nephew, but damn, she sold it pretty damn funny. I can't help it. And most importantly, I think we gotta tease for this. We need to see Michelle drunk. We absolutely need to see Michelle drunk. Because I think they've already teased now on 2 occasions what she's like, so I think we're going to get, hopefully, some semblance of that before the semester. Oh, wow, see, look at that. I'm caught up in the whole school thing. Before the season's over. And even though I haven't written this down, I just want to say this on a side note. I'm not even going to spoil it, but if you haven't seen the episode, or if you then stay through the entire, if you've seen it and missed the very end, please go back and see it, because again, there's just a moment with Heather, and it is probably one of the sweetest, cutest, and most adorable moments I've ever heard somebody curse and be censored. So it just was really, really sweet. Again, AP Bio, really, again, good episode, good, solid episode. Not rocket science, but good, solid comedy, quality performances from everybody. I'm enjoying the show. And again, if I'm applying the 5-episode rule, barring a total catastrophe next week, I would love to see AP Bio get a second season pickup. I don't think there's a reason not to. Stellar cast, stellar performances, quality storylines, and you're seeing some development. So I'm really impressed. If I had to give this a John Cusack scale, I'd give this, let's say, in a 7.58 range, I think it's fair to say. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to get this out to you right now. The show was over at 9 o'clock, so it's 9:21. We'll actually be getting this out at a relatively decent hour. My name is Ray Flick, television beat writer for Bleeding Cool. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget, a couple cheap plugs. Tomorrow, the weekly static is going to be go up on Bleeding Cool, so check it out there. On Sunday, going to be back to doing our normal time for the Walking Dead live blog. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to have the recap out within 12 hours. Well, within 2 hours. Hell, I'll probably have it within an hour or two after that. And also, we've got some stuff up going yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Sunday for ABC's Deception. Had a chance to do a set visit there, so we have some great interviews from that coming up, and we're also going to have a review of the pilot posting on Sunday too. But thank you guys. Thanks for joining me. We've just hit the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to try not to be half of the length of what essentially AP Bio was. Thanks for joining me tonight. Guys, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys online and this weekend. Take care.